Welcome to the Prescott Lab Podcast, not just theory, practical science for everyone. I'm Dr. Jonathan Prescott, a physician and integrative medicine researcher with more than 30 years of experience helping men reclaim their strength, their confidence, and yes, their manhood. Now, before we dive in, I want to ask you something. How many of you still wake up in the morning with the kind of firmness you once took for granted? Type 1 in the comments if you still do. Type 0 if you don't. Don't be shy because I read every comment and your honesty helps thousands of men who feel exactly the same way. And while you're here, go ahead and hit the like button. Not because it feeds the algorithm, but because every single like tells the world that men's health matters. And if you want to walk with me through this journey of restoring vitality after 60, make sure you subscribe and turn on the bell. That way, you won't miss a single strategy that could change your mornings forever. Gentlemen, picture this. Tomorrow morning, not next year, not after a stack of prescriptions, but tomorrow you open your eyes and feel a firmness you thought was gone. No blue pills, no pumps, no risks. Just your own hands, your own body, and a few precise minutes of stimulation that tap directly into your natural erection system. And here's the promise. Inside your own anatomy lie 3 hidden pressure points, tiny switches that can reignite blood flow, awaken your nerves, and retrain the reflexes that make morning vitality possible. This is not a trick. This is not wishful thinking. This is science. Your body is still capable, it just needs to be reminded. Stay with me because today I'm going to show you exactly where those points are, why they work, and how to use them safely every day. To bring back the mornings that once defined your manhood. Why this works, gentlemen, let's cut straight to it. Erections are not magic and they are certainly not random. They are the result of one of the most sophisticated systems in your body, a perfectly timed dance between your nerves, your blood vessels, your spinal cord, and the smooth muscles that make firmness possible. Here's how it happens. The brain or sensory nerves fire tiny electrical messages that travel down into the pelvis at lightning speed. Those signals tell the smooth muscles inside the penis to relax. And when they relax, the arteries open wide, blood rushes in and the veins clamp down, trapping that blood inside the erectile chambers, what we call the corpora cavernosa. That's the basic blueprint of every erection you've ever had. But time has a way of dulling even the finest machinery. After 50 or 60 years of wear, those arteries stiffen, losing elasticity from years of small inflammations, high blood pressure, or simply life itself. Meanwhile, the nerve signals don't fire with the same urgency, the conduction slows, the messages don't arrive as strong. And this double hit of sluggish circulation plus weaker nerve communication is the reason morning erections start to fade. So why do these pressure points matter? Because when you stimulate them, you're not just pressing on skin. You're lighting up clusters of sensory nerves that plug directly into the pelvic nerve plexus and even the spinal cord's sacral region, the erection center. That touch sends a surge like rebooting a computer. Suddenly the nerves are awake, the arteries widen, and the pelvic floor muscles, the hammock of support beneath you, tighten and respond. Think of it this way, most men over 60 are running on a signal that's muffled, half asleep. Pressure point work clears the static. It resets the system so the blood, the nerves, and the muscles once again speak the same language. Now let me ask you this, and I want you to be honest in the comments. Have you noticed more problems with blood flow or more with sensitivity? Right, blood flow if you feel circulation is the issue, right? Sensitivity if you think your nerves are slowing down. Why? Because when I see your answers, I'll know which parts of this routine I should expand on in future episodes. And just for you, the bottom line is this. Targeted stimulation gives your body what age has slowly taken away, a direct reminder of how it's supposed to perform. And once you understand this, you stop seeing yourself as broken, and you start seeing yourself as a man with a system that can be retrained. The first point, the bass groove. Before I show you the first pressure point, let me read a comment that came in last week. David, 67, wrote, "Doctor, I don't feel much sensation down there anymore. Even if I try, it's like the signals just don't fire. Will these techniques even work for me?" David, I want you and every man listening to hear this clearly. Yes, they can work. Because what we're doing here isn't about forcing your body. It's about waking it up. Think of it like a car battery that's been idle too long. You don't throw the car away. You give it a jump start. And the first jump start happens at what I call the base groove. So what is it? The base groove is the small natural indentation right where your shaft meets the pubic area, almost like a hinge. To find it, run your fingers along the underside of your shaft toward your body, and you'll feel that subtle groove where the erectile tissue blends into the deeper structures anchored inside the pelvis. Why is this spot so powerful? Because beneath the skin lies a dense cluster of sensory nerve endings, including branches of the dorsal nerve, along with small but crucial blood vessel junctions feeding directly into the erectile chambers. It's essentially a control hub where circulation and nerve signals meet. Here's how to stimulate it. Place your thumb directly over the groove while your fingers cradle the back of the shaft. Apply gentle but deliberate pressure in small, slow circles. You want enough firmness to feel the tissue beneath your thumb, but never to the point of pain. As you work the area for about 90 seconds, notice what happens. Warmth, a subtle tingling, even a sense of fullness. Those are signs the blood vessels are opening and the nerves are waking up. And let me remind you, consistency matters more than intensity. One session won't change everything. But done daily, ideally in the morning before you even rise from bed or during a warm shower, this groove begins to retrain your erectile reflexes. It primes your body so that when arousal signals arrive, the response is faster, stronger, and more dependable. Gentlemen, this first point is your ignition switch. Without it, the rest of the engine struggles to turn over. With it, the system starts to remember what it was built to do. The second point, the Perineum Powerhouse. Before we go further, I want to share another comment that came in. Michael, 72, wrote, "Doctor, I've tried Kegels, but honestly I can't tell if I'm doing them right. Is there a simpler way to wake up those pelvic muscles without all the guesswork?" Michael, you're not alone. Most men I meet don't even know where their pelvic floor is, let alone how to train it. That's exactly why the second pressure point, the perineum, is such a game changer. Now the perineum is that soft, springy patch of tissue between the scrotum and the anus. Out of sight, yes, but it should never be out of mind. Because right beneath it lies the bulbous spongiossus muscle, one of the unsung heroes of male vitality. This muscle acts like a natural clamp, trapping blood inside the penis during erection. When it weakens with age, blood escapes too soon, and firmness fades. Here's the good news. When you press into the perineum, you're not just stimulating skin, you're reflexively activating that muscle. It's like giving your pelvic floor a workout without needing to figure out a dozen Kegel routines. Here's how to do it. Sit comfortably or lie back with knees apart. Place your index and middle fingers gently but firmly into the center of the perineum. Move in slow, deliberate circles, keeping steady pressure for 2 to 3 minutes. You may notice warmth or even a faint pulsing spreading toward your shaft. That's the blood flow responding. For an extra boost, you can pair this with light Kegel contractions before or after the massage. Think of it as charging both the nerves and the muscle at once. Over time, this simple routine makes the pelvic floor stronger, more responsive, and better able to support and maintain erections. And I'd love to hear from you. Type yes in the comments if you've ever tried any pelvic floor exercise before. Type no if this is completely new to you, because your answers help me know just how much deeper I should go into pelvic training in future episodes. Gentlemen, don't underestimate this hidden spot. It may not be visible in the mirror, but it's one of the strongest allies you have in restoring those dependable morning erections. The third point, the coronal ring. Before I reveal the last pressure point, let me share a message from Thomas, 64, who commented last week. Doctor, I still get some sensation, but it feels dull, like the nerves are half asleep. Can these techniques really sharpen sensitivity, or is that gone for good? Thomas, that's one of the most common fears men your age have. But here's the truth. Your nerves aren't dead, they're just sluggish. They can be retrained, and that's where the third point, the corona ring, comes in. The corona is the ridge right where the head of the penis, the glans, meets the shaft. If you run your fingers lightly around that rim, you'll notice it's more sensitive than almost any other part. And that's not an accident. This area is packed with a dense concentration of sensory nerve endings, the very messengers that carry arousal signals to your spinal cord and erection center. Here's the science. Over the decades, repeated wear, lack of blood flow, and slower nerve conduction blunt the responsiveness of these pathways. It's like static on a radio line. The song is still there, but you can't quite hear it clearly. By stimulating the corona ring in the right way, you clear that static. You're reminding those nerves how to fire quickly and efficiently again. So how do you do it? Gently take hold of your manhood with your thumb and forefinger, placing them on either side of the corona. Apply a light pinch and hold for about 5 seconds, then release. Repeat this cycle for 1 full minute. This gentle hold and release wakes up the nerve endings without overwhelming them. After that, shift to slow, circular motions around the entire circumference of the corona. Glide your fingers just enough to stimulate the ridge, avoiding friction or irritation. Do this for another minute or 2. The goal isn't intensity, it's precision. Think of it as tuning the strings of an instrument. Too tight and you snap them, too loose and they don't play. But tune just right, the music flows again. Many men report that after a few weeks of daily practice, not only do their morning erections return with greater strength, but intimacy feels sharper, richer, more natural. It's not about chasing youth. It's about restoring communication between your nerves and your brain, communication that age has muted but not erased. Now, let me bring you in. Type sharp in the comments if sensitivity is something you want to get back. Type steady if your bigger struggle is simply maintaining firmness. Your answers tell me whether I should do an entire future session just on retraining nerve sensitivity. Gentlemen, the corona ring is your tuning fork. Stimulated gently, consistently, it brings the entire system back into harmony, nerves firing, blood flowing, reflexes reawakening. And when combined with the other points, it's the final key in restoring natural, dependable morning vitality. The sequence that resets your body. Before I walk you through the full sequence, let me share a letter that came into my office from Robert, 69, in Michigan. He wrote, "Doctor, I've tried bits and pieces of these techniques, but I never know if I'm doing them in the right order or if there's a rhythm to it. Should this be a random massage or is there a routine I need to follow?" Robert, that's an excellent question, and it's one I hear from men all the time. The truth is, just like exercise or physical therapy, the sequence matters. Doing these points out of order is like trying to start a symphony with the cymbals crashing. You miss the build, the harmony. But when you perform them in the right flow, each point prepares the body for the next until the whole system, blood, nerves, and muscles, is working in concert again. Here's the sequence I recommend. 1. Start at the base groove, 90 seconds. Place your thumb over that hinge where shaft meets pubic area. Work slow circles, firm but never painful, as your other fingers cradle the back. This is your ignition switch. It tells your blood vessels to open and your nerves to wake up. Within a minute, you may feel warmth or tingling. That's the engine turning over. 2. Move to the Perineum Powerhouse, 2-3 minutes. Sit or recline comfortably, knees apart. Using 2 fingers. Press gently but firmly into the soft tissue between scrotum and anus. Move in deliberate circles. Here you're not just working skin, you're directly activating the bulbous spongiasis muscle, your body's natural clamp. Think of it as tightening the walls of a dam so the water, your blood, stays where it belongs. 3. Finish with the coronal ring 2 minutes. Gently pinch the ridge at the base of the glands, holding for 5 seconds, then release. Repeat for 1 minute. Then shift to light circular motions around the circumference. This fine-tunes your nerve pathways, sharpening the responsiveness of your arousal signals. It's the final adjustment that turns circulation into erection. Altogether, this sequence takes less than 7 minutes. Done daily, it's like rebooting an old computer. The lag disappears, the system remembers its commands, and what felt sluggish begins to operate smoothly again. Now, let me be clear, this is not a magic trick. The first day may feel subtle, even underwhelming, but over weeks the body adapts. Warmth grows into fullness, responsiveness sharpens into firmness, and morning vitality begins to return. And here's my challenge for you. Try this sequence every morning for the next 21 days. Then come back and tell me in the comments, did you notice warmth, sensitivity, or strength first? I guarantee your answers will help other men stay committed when they are tempted to give up too soon. Gentlemen, this is the routine that resets your body, the spark, the pump, and the signal all working together. It's not random touch. It's intentional, science-backed, and designed to reawaken what age has tried to silence. Gentlemen, I want to speak to you plainly here. If you're expecting that one round of pressure point work tonight will bring back the rock-solid mornings you had at 20, you'll be disappointed. This is not how the body works, and it's not how healing happens. Your system, the blood vessels, the nerves, the muscles, has spent decades slowing down. It needs time, and it deserves patience. Most of my patients begin to notice subtle changes within 2 to 4 weeks. Not miracles, but signals that the body is responding. A gentle warmth where there used to be nothing. A fullness that lingers a little longer in the morning. A spark of sensitivity that surprises them during intimacy. These are the first whispers of recovery. Let me give you real stories. Harold, 71, a retired firefighter, came to me frustrated. He hadn't felt a natural morning rise in nearly a decade. We started this routine. 3 weeks in, he said, "Doc, I woke up and for the first time in years I felt something stirring before I even stood up. It wasn't perfect, but it was real." Then there's Frank, 66, a mechanic who thought his nerves were completely dead. 2 weeks of steady practice and he began to notice tingling like static coming back to a radio. By the 6th week, he reported firmness he thought was impossible without pills. And George, 74, who had nearly given up. For him, it took longer, almost 2 months, but once the system woke up, he found not only did morning vitality return, but his confidence in intimacy returned with it. Now let me ask you, would you commit to 30 days if it meant waking up with even a fraction of what you thought you'd lost? Because that's what this requires, not one night, but a season of retraining your body to remember. The early results are not about perfection. They are about direction. They tell you, yes, this works, keep going. And that hope, that glimpse of change, is often the very fuel men need to stay consistent long enough to see lasting transformation. Gentlemen, I promise you this, your manhood is not gone. It is waiting. What you need is not a miracle, but a method and the patience to let it work. Lifestyle boosters that multiply the effect. Gentlemen, let me tell you something I've seen over and over again in my clinic. The men who see the fastest, strongest results are not just pressing points. They're also living in a way that multiplies those results, because your body isn't a collection of separate parts, it's one system. What strengthens the heart strengthens the penis. What heals your circulation heals your morning vitality. So if you want this method to work faster, more reliably, here are the boosters you cannot ignore. Hydration, the simplest fuel for blood flow. Blood is mostly water. If you're dehydrated, your blood volume shrinks, your vessels stiffen, and the circulation we've been trying to awaken has less to work with. I tell my patients, before you drink your morning coffee, drink a glass of water. Before bed, the same. That simple habit alone can improve vascular responsiveness in weeks. Think of it as oiling the engine before you turn the key. Pelvic floor strength, the unseen muscle that holds it all together. Remember the perineum work we talked about? That becomes even more powerful when paired with deliberate pelvic floor training. Gentlemen, I'm talking about Kegels, not the frantic, breath-holding kind, but slow, controlled squeezes. Imagine trying to stop the flow of urine midstream. Hold that contraction for 5 seconds, release for 5. Do 10 reps twice a day. Over time, this muscle becomes the steel foundation that supports your erections, making them not just easier to achieve but harder to lose. Nutrition, feeding the flow. You cannot build a strong erection on weak circulation. Your arteries demand the right fuel. Leafy greens like spinach and kale flood your body with nitrates that convert into nitric oxide, the molecule that tells your arteries to open wide. Beets, pomegranate, and even a simple banana for potassium help regulate blood pressure and keep the vascular system supple. Cut down the processed, salty, greasy foods and you'll be shocked how much lighter, warmer, and more alive your mornings feel. Sleep, the forgotten medicine. Here's the hidden truth most men miss. Your strongest erections don't happen during sex, but during sleep. REM sleep is when your body naturally cycles through erections, keeping the tissues healthy and the nerves sharp. When you cut your sleep short or you're up scrolling at 2 a.m., you rob your body of its natural training ground. Aim for 7 hours. Protect your evenings like medicine, because in many ways they are. Now let me turn it back to you. Which one of these areas is your biggest struggle? Water, exercise, food, or sleep? Type it in the comments. Don't be embarrassed when other men see your answer. They realize they're not alone, and that honesty builds strength in this community. Gentlemen, the pressure points are the ignition. But these lifestyle boosters, they're the fuel, the oil, and the maintenance that keep the engine running. Together, they don't just bring back your mornings. They reshape your health, your energy, and the way you carry yourself every single day. Gentlemen, let me end with this. Your manhood is not gone. It has not been stolen by age or erased by the years. It has simply been waiting quietly, patiently, for you to remind it how to wake up again. I've seen men at 60, 70, even 80 who thought the chapter was closed. And then with patience, discipline, and faith in their own bodies, they found themselves rising in the morning with a strength they thought was lost forever. Their wives noticed. Their confidence returned. And more importantly, they rediscovered the dignity of feeling whole again. So if you hear nothing else from me today, hear this. You are not broken. You are not finished. Your body still remembers. It only needs your hands, your attention, and your consistency to recall the blueprint written into you from the beginning. Now I want you to take action. Start the sequence. Drink the water. Do the work. And when you see the first signs, the warmth, the fullness, the spark, come back here and tell me in the comments. Because your story might be the one that convinces another man not to give up. And if this message has stirred something in you, don't just leave quietly. Hit the like button, not for me, but to declare that men's health matters. Subscribe if you want more science, more truth, and more tools to reclaim your vitality. And share this video with a brother, a friend, or anyone who needs to know he's not alone. Gentlemen, as a doctor, as a man, I give you this blessing. May your mornings rise with strength, may your nights carry peace, and may you never again believe the lie that your best days are behind you. They are not. They are still waiting. And they begin when you decide to begin.